nature of the business. The nature of the business refers to the overall activities a company in their quest to create, market, and sell a service or product do. So what you must understand here is that the nature of every business is different from what you see when you are out of the business. If, for instance, your passion is to start a day nursery, or I don't know if it's still called a day nursery, I think it's called a crèche now, or you just want to start a school, every time you drive by someone's school, you will become energized and excited by the fact that you are seeing children walking into the school, parents dropping off the children, and you look at probably 200 children going in there, and you do a quick calculation in your mind. If each child is paying 1,000 cedis, 200 children going in there, you're like, wow, that is 200,000 Ghana cedis the owner is getting. That is great, but that is not the nature of the business. The nature of the business is having to pursue parents. The nature of the business is having parents default. The nature of the business is having to employ teachers, train teachers to be able to do the right thing, always be present. So the first thing you have to understand about every business is that how you see it from outside is different from when you get into the business. What you see from outside is often different as compared to what you see when you get into the business. When people think, I talk to people a lot, and you hear a lot of them say, oh, I want to go into poultry farming. And normally when we run the poultry farming trainings, after we have taken them through 3 days of training, practically, and also taking them through everything that goes into it, we have some participants say, poultry farming is not the business for me. Now that I know what it takes to get into the business, it is not what is for me. So before you step into a business, you need to clearly understand the nature of the business. But if you are not running the business, the question that may come into your mind is, I'm not running the business, so how am I going to know the nature of the business? So I want to give you some simple, low-cost ways to understand the nature of the intended business. These ideas I'm going to give you are not holistic, as in there may be other ways you can learn the nature of a business, and you do not only take one of them, but you try to put all of them together to understand the business that you want to enter into before you even start in the first place. Great. So number one, yours truly, YouTube. Now, here's the interesting thing. If you went on YouTube right now and you typed into it probably how to start a snail business, you'd have hundreds of videos that will pop up. If you went still on YouTube and you typed a day in the life of a snail farmer, looking for a video that gives you what he does when he wakes up, everything that happens in his life, you will find such videos. So whatever you seem to be interested in, the first place to go is to go online on YouTube and in other search engines and begin to search out for what it is like to do the particular business that you are interested in. Then the second one is internship. No matter, a lot of the times when we say internship, people think of a young university student who sends a letter to a company and then decides that I want to come in and be an intern. But what you have to also remember is that you can go to an existing business. I knew somebody who already was learning how to sew. She wanted to be a designer, but she went and she interned for 4 months in a bigger designing organization where she learned everything that it takes, from putting the fabric together, getting people to sew it, the daily challenges you are going to have, all the way to when you are selling it to the customer. The nicest way, it is more difficult, it's not going to pay you because few people will pay you for internship. but the quality of experience you will get by interning on something, you can't buy with money. And remember that a lot of employers are looking for more people to work for them, but they just can't afford it. So if you say, I'm willing to come and work here for free, and your selling point when you're having a discussion with the person in the industry is, I am willing to come for free. Now, the person will be skeptical, but based on how you treat it, if you arrive on time, you don't shy away from getting your hands dirty, you will realize that everybody in the business will begin to tell you the tricks of the trade. And as you also observe, you'll be able to see how the employees are cheating the employer. And yes, I did say cheat the employer. And all these things will enable you see more of what the nature of the business is. Don't get into a business that you don't know the nature of. You will lose money. Great. Then the next one is talking to people in the business. Now, there are two groups of people that you need to talk to who have done the business. One, look for the people who are successful in the business and have a good conversation with them, okay? And then number two, look for people who have failed at the business and have a conversation with them too. You see, now let me first start with the people who are successful. When you go to people who are successful in the business that you want to go into, you are going to find yourself seeing how it works, why it works. And as you begin to talk to them, some of them may be a little bit more guarded in telling you their trade secrets. But in the long run, you will, as they become more comfortable with you, they will be able to tell you some things. Now, when you go to those who have failed at the business, they will make a lot of excuses as to why the business doesn't work. That information is also helpful because it lets you know that, okay, these are the problems why, I don't know why I'm using the example of schools so much, but let me use that example still. If you went to someone who started a school and then the school failed, when you talk to the person will say, oh, the school's business is not good. Parents do not pay their children's fees. And it's so expensive to keep good teachers. As the person is giving you the excuses of why the business failed, you then have the opportunity to say, these are the threats to the business I want to go into. And how can I counter them before I even step into the business? If the person begins to talk to you and says that, well, the business, I stopped because sometimes when I'm looking for the chemicals or the materials I need to process the soap, I do not get the materials, then you will know that, okay, there's seasonal availability of the materials. And if I want to go into this business, I must use probably March to June to stock up on materials before I go into the business. So make sure that you do very good interviews. Then do a good research. Read around it. Don't be lazy. Too many people go into business in Ghana because someone has said there's money in that business. And I know all of you have heard that before, where you are standing by someone you are standing by probably a watches seller and you hear someone say, Charlie, you can't sell watches and make a loss. But the truth of the matter is that we have watches sellers who are making a loss. Or you see someone who has a drugstore or a pharmacy, and another person looks at it and says, the best business to enter into in Ghana right now is pharmacy. Most people enter businesses being recommended by people who have no idea what the business is about. So please do your research. Don't just assume that the business is going to work out well. All right, great. So we've spoken about the reason why you're coming into the business. We've spoken about the nature of the business. Now we want to go into where will the business be located? Where will the business be located? I was talking to a friend recently, and he said, I need some help setting up my poultry farm. And I said, okay, great. Where is the poultry farm located? And then he said, he mentioned a particular village where the poultry farm was. And I said, but you are in the city. Can we have, yes, it's been muted. I said, but you are in the city. He said, yes, but that's where I got the land. And then I told him, I said, how many times in a week can you visit the